welcome to another episode. My name is AJ.
And I'm Bill.
And welcome to A&B Sports Media, the podcast. We have a good amount to go over actually this week, so
Yeah, we do, actually.
I'm excited I'm excited to jump into it. So let me actually start with something from my alma mater at Arcadia University.
Nerd.
They have one of the craziest games I've ever heard in a while, specifically because it took way too long. It was like it literally, this is not an exaggeration, it was a 24-hour game. The game started, I think, like at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. I forget the exact day, but then it ended literally 24 hours after that. The reason being is because the game got suspended because the score was 23-23. They resumed the next day in the 8th inning, and it went to extras. And unfortunately, my alma mater didn't push through. The other team, Denison, they won the 25-23. So it was unfortunately we couldn't get the win, but it's cool to see my school still making history, still dropping bombs and ripping dingers. So wanted to kind of give a shout out to them. But staying with baseball, the World Baseball Classic's been going on. That's been a really fun.
That it has.
Outside just watching spring training, because most of the time they're just getting their reps in. World Baseball Classic has been outstanding and actually really good for the sport, in my opinion. It's just been.
I agree. Definitely, when you start to watch the games, because when it's always an international event, though, it's not like just your local teams playing. When it's like, oh, your country's on the line, there's just a little bit more people watching. It's like, oh, how's our team compared to the rest of the world?
Yeah.
And it's really cool, though, that some of the games are being played in the U.S., in Arizona currently. But I think that's most of, North America and South America playing here.
Yeah.
And then in Europe and Asia, they're playing in Tokyo. Now, that's pretty cool.
That's fun, especially because the Japanese teams and, like, all those, they're having so much fun with it.
They are.
They're having
Japan's on a tear.
much fun.
Japan is 4-0 right now.
Well, Japan and
Venezuela.
Japan and Venezuela are like the clear front runners of this tournament.
Yes.
USA team has such a top tier lineup, but their pitching is just so lackluster, and that's because for American teams, the top 10 pitchers in terms of WAR aren't on American teams, which is crazy to me. So really, USA has to kind of get going early for them to kind of do anything, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up too, is that the hitters, if they don't pop off like in the first inning or two, it's over. And the World Baseball Classic is showing that hitters are starting to really catch up to it. I know the pitching isn't exactly like top tier right now, and a lot of the aces in the MLB aren't really playing. But
yeah, I mean, you don't want to hurt yourself. I know it's a fun thing to be a part of, but you also remember your career is on the line. That's millions of dollars.
Exactly, and that's the big issue, especially for pitchers, because like if you hurt your arm in any other way, you could be out for a while, and that's a lot of things that affect the team.
Yeah.
My biggest thing. So this is recorded March 15th. That's on a Wednesday, and the game is today at 10 p.m. So depending on the outcome, either yay, we won, I'm happy we're advancing, because right now this is the end of pool play.
Yep.
Yay, we're advancing.
I was going to say,
if not, damn, I hate this team. Yeah. My biggest thing, 100%, is if Schwarber, Trey Turner, and JT are not in the lineup, I'll riot. I will 100% riot. Because, like, the two games that the Phillies were in the lineup, they won, they put up, like, 10-plus points.
Yeah.
Or not 10-plus. It was, I think the first game was 6 points, 6 runs. And majority of that was from Schwarber hitting a bomb, which I don't understand why the head coach is like, yeah, we're not putting in Schwarber because we're facing lefties. It's like, yeah, he faced it in the World Series in a home run.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
So just a note, too, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's USA versus Colombia.
Yep.
Right now, though, which, unfortunately, again, this is going to be pre-recorded, as we just said, you got Puerto Rico versus the Dominican Republic. Am I right? Yep. Dominican Republic. So, yeah, Puerto Rico versus the Dominican Republic. That's actually pretty big for Pool D, too, because they're both 2-1 right now. So whoever wins is going into to the brackets, to the top six. Was it top 8 or top 16? I don't know.
And I gotta say that some of these teams in the World Baseball Classics, it's actually people with day jobs that like were given the opportunity to just come in and play for their team, and so, in some cases face the best in the world.
Yeah, and they're handling it.
And there was a 19-year-old
China. Or Nicaragua.
But there was a 19-year-old pitcher. I think it was on the Israeli team. They faced, I believe it was the DR, and it was Juan Soto and Manny Machado were on that team, and he made them look silly.
Somebody just got signed though too from the World Baseball Classic because he struck out 3 high-end players.
I would not be surprised because like there's a lot of people showing that like they can play this game and they can compete against the best. So this is so fun, and especially like. There hasn't been a lot of flair in some of the games, especially last season. Outside of just like towards the end of the playoffs for the World Series, there was some more flair, there was some more passion and stuff like that. But like this, you're seeing what this game means to a lot of people that are playing this, and it's so fun. You can just feel the passion in every single game. I think there was forget what team it is, but he's It might be Venezuelan or Dominican Republic, but every single game he has all the buttons unbuttoned, and it's just like it's such a baseball vibe of just like relax, have fun, enjoy the game, and every time like he's making like a huge pitch during a bat and gets someone struck out, he's freaking out, like he's showing how much he cares about this game, and that's something extremely fun to see, not just as a player of baseball itself, but just as a fan in general, seeing these people have extreme passion. So, Japan's been really fun too. Ohtani. And a lot of them have been like absolutely crazy. Just watch. I know I forget the exact team. There's been so many teams and so many cool moments in this. So, outside of like keeping the aces in mind, there's been a lot of people doing things, and there was this one person who. It was a pitcher. I can't exactly remember who Japan was facing, but he couldn't hit over 79 miles per hour, which in baseball terms, especially in the MLB, like the average they're throwing is like 94, 95 miles an hour. This man who couldn't throw over 79 miles an hour struck out Ohtani, and that's
something.
That's something that will live with him for the rest of his life, because Ohtani is a perennial superstar that we'll never see anyone like him again, pitching and hitting. He's such a stud. And this guy, on camera in front of the whole world, was able to strike him out. That's so cool.
That is huge.
That's so fun.
And remember, Otani's also playing in Japan right now, which is probably the biggest star for Japanese people all around. Him hitting home runs is just making that place blow up.
Oh, my God.
There's literally a moment, and God bless Japanese culture in this case, because whoever when Ohtani hit the home run, instead of murdering each other for the ball, and then having some middle-aged woman come up to you and say, "Give me the ball for my son," everyone just passed around the ball quietly, took a photo of it, was like, "Oh my God, this is the ball that Ohtani just crushed," and then gave it back to the respected owner that caught the ball in the first place. That wouldn't happen here.
Oh, no, yeah. People are getting massacred just trying to get this, so.
It would be terrible.
It's so cool seeing how everyone, is reacting to their teams, and this is why I love the World Baseball Classic and I'll even say the World Cup, too. When you see, the specific passion, the fan base, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool, but a big surprise, and it's one that America actually fell to, was Mexico. They're popping off.
That was a good one. They clinched it. They're already in the 16.
Yep, and America has to win today. They're in control of their own destiny. They win today, they're in. They lose, they're out. So this is a big game tonight. But Mexico's been a real big surprise. Japan has been extremely fun 16, to watch.
I'm sorry, it's just quarterfinals and semifinals. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
My bad.
But realistically, going into it, Japan and Venezuela are the clear top tier teams that will be fun to watch. Hoping America can get it together.
Yeah. Cuba's already in the semifinals, too. Beat out Australia.
Nice.
So that's going to be a big one. So, actually, wait a minute. Now thinking about it, where are we in the pools? So just a note for pools for everyone as well because we do want that. So there's Pool A, Pool B, Pool C, and Pool D. And they're all in different locations. Pool A is in Taichung, Pool B is in Tokyo, Pool C in Phoenix, and Pool D in Miami. Right now, Pool C, when it comes to us, is Mexico, U.S., Canada, Colombia, and Great Britain. Mexico already clinched for quarterfinals because they're 3-1. USA is 2-1. Canada is 2-2. Colombia is 1-2. Great Britain all the way at the bottom. 1-3.
They have been terrible.
They have been terrible, and they gave us so much flack.
I mean, listen, what's a kilometer? Who knows?
I don't know.
All I'm saying is their team is not good, and their jerseys are the worst jerseys.
They are. Mexico's alternate jerseys are fire.
Dude, they're fire. They're nice. They're really nice.
Yeah. Just a note, so for Pool C, that's what I wanted to say. When it comes to whoever wins this game for U.S. against Colombia, if we win, we will be playing Venezuela in the quarterfinal.
Which is terrifying. Which is very terrifying.
I mean, it doesn't get easy for the U.S. in general because no matter what, in the semis, you play Cuba.
Yeah.
Venezuela and Cuba are big baseball sports fans.
Yeah, but right now, when it comes to it, Venezuela is the clear contender. Like, in my opinion, I think I'm rooting for America,
but yeah.
And I think that if America stays hot like they did 2 days ago against Canada, it'll be hard to beat. But Venezuela and Japan have the pitching where America doesn't, and I think that those two will be in the championship. So that'll be, regardless, it's going to be fun.
And then tomorrow you have Italy versus Japan.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a good game. And then, the other quarterfinal that hasn't been set up yet, which we know already. It will be Mexico playing against who's ever in Pool D, which would be either the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, which is going on right now.
I'm about to say, if the Dominican Republic doesn't push forward, they have a stud.
They got a solid team. So, but hey, Puerto Rico's always been big on baseball too.
That is true. Those are the two. Well, I like watching the Latin teams play because they just have such a fucking fire to them.
Yeah.
They have such a riz too.
It's a huge culture down there for baseball.
I love it.
And then we have Nicaragua and China that are 0-4.
You know what? We're happy you're here. We're happy you're here. Thank you for coming.
And represent Chinese Taipei going 2-2 at least.
There's I know that's kind of hitting the World Baseball Classic, and we got a lot to hit during the NFL, but I think Bill and I both want to talk about something too that are referring to the umpires and refs that are going on. In just recent times, like they have gotten horrible. I mean, so the NFL season that we had was one of the worst ones in terms of like officiating.
Bad officiating, and I'm only using the Super Bowl as the most recent event.
Yeah,
missing a face mask, missing other certain calls, just terrible officiating in general. Really can affect an output, the output of a game, outcome, whatever. Either way, recently there was college baseball that went on, and an umpire got way too much ego because he made one bad call before then, and got mad at the batter because he drew a line in the sand, and then
he pointed
to where it was.
Which to give you an idea, if you are the hitter, you never do anything to piss off the umpire.
Very true. Yes.
After the at bat, that's different, but during the at bat is a whole different ball field because. If realistically, if it's anything close after you just complain about it, he'll ring you up. That's something you know in baseball.
Now, the thing is, and this should come from the umpire side, though, if it's close, do it. If you want to really protect your ego. However, this ball was so far off the plate.
The catcher picked it off the ground.
Yeah, it was not. It was so clearly a ball that when he rung it up as a strike, he knew that this was not going to go. Like, this was not a strike whatsoever.
Mid-ring up of the strikeout, he started walking away.
Yeah, because he knew what was going to follow up. And keep in mind, with that specific pitch and outcome, that was the end of the game.
Yeah.
They lost because of that, and they had bases loaded. They had an opportunity to bring it back. Now, luckily, the college division that was in, they took swift action, removed that umpire. I don't know if it was just the umpire or the whole umpire team from that.
I think it was just that umpire.
That either way, they're gone. But this also has been affecting the NBA as well. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I do see the clips all the time of NBA refs calling techs on players for just passing them the ball back a little too aggressively.
Yeah.
And now the thing with the NBA that I've been delving more and more into slowly, there used to be a massive scandal with the NBA, with the refs fixing games.
Oh, 100%.
This is probably still happening.
Oh, that's a big reason why a lot of the people, like, every now and again when there's like that crucial game that gets decided by that, it always comes back up. It's like, oh, they just fixed the game.
They did.
But the main issue with a lot of the refs that I at least in my opinion that I've been seeing across the board is that outside of that one college game where they did have like straight up repercussions, majority of the officiating is not there's no accountability behind it.
No, there is none.
They're straight up doing what they want to do, especially in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they want to do because they think they're right and they're on a high horse. Not all refs, but a good amount of them.
Yeah.
And like even when there is an accountability, they'll fight against that. Like there has to be some form of accountability that sticks. Because like the NFL did, they had the recording studio where like if it was I think it was a pass interference or something along that line, they could call a challenge flag and review it, and the whole world sees it. The whole world is like that is a pass interference, but because the officiating crews and all that kind of like did like a silent strike where like the person in control of the review booth was an old referee who Pat McAfee actually hated. I forget his exact name, but he hated him. He was like every single week he's like, get him out of the booth right now. He's not doing his job. He was terrible at his job to begin with. And it's like outside, like, because that is like a clear indicator that's going to lose. But you can't just do that in 1 year and then do away with it. It has to be a consistent form of accountability where the officiating crew can learn and get better from it. And Angel Hernandez is the worst.
I was going to say at the end of this rant, but I'll say it early. Fuck you, Angel Hernandez. You were my least favorite umpire. I actually do like buying tickets to when his games show up so I can just heckle you.
Because he's so bad at
He is quite literally the worst umpire in the fucking worst umpire, third base first base whatever.
It's crazy.
In the MLB. And he is the lowest percentage that there is.
So there was, of course, everyone in the baseball community hates Angel Hernandez. It's not just Phillies fans, whatever.
No, it's everybody.
The whole baseball crew. They actually, they were like, Angel Hernandez called balls and strikes for Nicaragua and Venezuela. And it was...
He's doing the World Baseball Classic?
He's doing the World Baseball Classic.
Oh, fuck.
It's terrible. And, like, as you can see, like... You know, there's clear ones and all that, but like strike. I wish I'll retweet this so you can see that.
Oh my God,
he
called even some balls.
He called a ball that's literally almost in. It's too much. It's the bottom half of the strike zone, but it's in the middle, and he called a ball, and it's crazy to me. And that was for
I'll give him the credit. The one on the line, though, I'll give him that.
That's for the Nicaraguan pitchers, and this is for the Venezuelan, where it's like it's clear he doesn't know what he's doing.
No,
like
his strike zone is bigger than anyone else's, and then he may be taking notes off that ref that just got kicked out.
And now it's as a baseball player, it's one thing that through your first few at bats throughout the whole lineup, you kind of get a feel for the zone of each umpire, and realistically that'll change. Like if it's 2 strikes and he's been calling a ball outside that it's clearly unhit, like it's not a strike, but he's been calling it, and the pitcher throws it right there, it's your job to swat it away because he's going to call it. Yes. If you get wrong up on it, like that sucks. That's definitely not a strike.
But you need to understand.
You knew that was coming. Yeah, you knew that was coming. Angel Hernandez, you cannot do that with because
he's unpredictable.
Don't know. Yeah, you genuinely don't know.
He's the mystery man. We don't like this.
So it's because he has tenure right now that he's still in the league. 100%.
He has tenure, yeah. And then the funny thing is, he complains that he's never set up in the World Series for anything. And
there's a reason.
The MLB literally said it's because you suck.
Yeah,
it's not because of discrimination. You just suck at what you do.
Yeah, he's so bad. And here's a video of one where it's like,
God, that is so
literally
far
guy
outside.
the guy it's so far like inside, and the guy has to dodge out of the way for it. But he realistically, the catcher actually. One day I'll do
framed it. Yeah,
I'll do a whole
he did
baseball.
Frame it.
The catcher framed it pretty well, but like
I think that's how you beat people with Angel Hernandez. So
realistically, good catchers, especially in MLB, will notice that, and they'll specifically tell you to throw a specific spot. But it's on the pitcher to hit that spot, and that was close enough up to the spot where he was going to pull him in. But He's so bad.
He's terrible.
Like even as an umpire, you can see when someone frames it, and if it's close and they frame it in, like that's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. That's a good frame job. That's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
but,
if you frame it, I get it. But
the officiating has been terrible. There needs to be accountability for it, and I don't see any in.
I'm not going to bitch too much about the MMA accountability when it comes to scoring fights because that requires a lot more of an in-depth analysis. But they suck too. But I'm going to be quick about that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
That requires too
much. Damn, I had a thought process for it, but Angel Hernandez is really just throwing me off right now.
He's making you miss your own checklist here.
It's not even on the checklist. It's about the officiating because it's
terrible.
It really has been. Oh, thank you for reminding me because it is terrible. It is terrible rules that they're implementing into actual MLB, but I genuinely believe that the World Baseball Classic has been extremely fun for a few factors. One, the teams are showing extreme passion that are playing it, and it's just so fun seeing either the best or people extremely passionate like playing. Two, the fans have been absolutely a part of this game.
Again, go Tokyo.
Every single game, it's been like the fans are in on it.
Yeah, Tokyo sold out every night.
The American team, every time and behind home plate, there's people ringing them up.
Yep.
There's people doing boot chugs, which if you don't know what that is, or shoe chugging, it's when you pour beer into your shoe or boot. Yeah, shoeies, and you chug it. It's been so fun. And three, which is my biggest thing. None of the rules that are being affected into this year's, like the bigger bases, the shift changes, the pitch clock, none of them, not a single one of them are in the World Baseball Classic. And I think that is a big tell because there's actually a few rules that I think that they should implement moving forward. Maybe not that this lenient, but I'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, the pitch clock needs to either be extremely changed or added time. The shift pisses me off because as a hitter, just hit you should know how to hit the opposite way. But I think those three, the fans, passion of the players, and none of the new rule changes in there is a very good indicator of why this game is extremely fun. But they have been doing the run rules.
Right.
So, which I think is really cool. I think it's 7 after 7.
Yeah.
Like if it's over 7 runs, then that I wouldn't say maybe that much, but maybe like if it's like 12 to 15 runs over after 7, implement that. Whereas like that's the run rule. I think that is a more effective way of lowering time limits than just putting a pitch clock on there.
No, I agree with that.
Because that like there was a correct me, Bill. Was it Venezuela or I think it was the Venezuela team or Dominican Republic team that had the first ever perfect game in the World Baseball Classic.
Let me double check.
It was multiple pitchers, but that was kind of capped off in the fact that like that was also a run rule game. So that was really cool. So like things like that where it makes it more cool and fun for the sport is more appreciated. But like the pitch clock, I don't really like that much.
Actually, it's neither of those two. It was Puerto Rico.
It was Puerto Rico.
First ever perfect game.
Yeah, they had the first ever perfect game in the World Baseball Classic. So I don't know. That's what I see working in the World Baseball Classic, and there's things that I know for a fact they're not going to implement until maybe next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the pitch clock definitely needs to get changed no matter what. But we'll see about that. But now that we just kind of ranted a little bit about World Baseball Classic and all that fun stuff, we'll get into the NFL because there's some crazy. Actually, this all season's been kind of nuts. I won't get into a lot of it, but I'll get into a few very important things. Obviously, a little biased because we're Eagles fans. So right off the bat, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is not signed to the Eagles yet, which is giving me so much anxiety, especially off of news that I'll get to later. I need him to be signed back. He is a young stud that has the gravitas and just the personality of Philly that I want in a safety. One of his favorite players that he used to like watch film on was Brian Dawkins. He needs to stay. So I want him to stay. I want him to get signed. James Bradbury signed for a 3-year deal, $38 million. So I'm happy he's back. He's a young stud, definitely lockdown corner. So I'm excited for that. And then some people that we lost were Javon Hargrave. He went to the 49ers. That'll be a difficult one to kind of replace, but we have some stud rookies that we drafted last year that I'm expecting to make huge jumps. Miles Sanders, like we said earlier, we didn't think he was coming back, and this is kind of confirmed that he's probably going to move on. I think the best case scenario for him would be somewhere like the Bengals, because they're having problems with Joe Mixon and his kind of like legal troubles. So I really hope the best for Miles. He's a fun kid to watch, and I think he'll land in a good spot for him. But Boston Scott has been signed back, thank God, for 1 year. The Giant Killers running it back.
Please,
Rashad Penny is the new running back that we signed, and I think he's a stud. I'm biased because he's on my fantasy team, but I know that he has injury troubles. But when he's not injured, holy shit, is he good? He's averaging like 6 yards a carry, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's really fun.
Kelsey's back.
Kelsey is back, baby. Kelsey is back
One more year.
One more year, run it back. I think that this will be his last year.
I think so.
I think that he's trying to run it back with Hurts.
Have one more last hurrah.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever happens. He's just gonna enjoy the ride.
Exactly. So we'll see how that goes. I really hope it ends in the Super Bowl for him. And this pisses me off too because I really wish we would have won it. Would have made so many of these people leaving. It hurt less, but the biggest one is Darius Slay has been released by the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that one, honestly.
I don't think anyone is because as soon as he came in here, him and his wife have been so great in the community, so great into the locker room that that's a hard person to outside. I know he's getting old and outside talent level. That's hard to replace in the locker room because he just became the captain this year.
I know. That's a shame. I wish him the best no matter what happens, though.
Yeah, the big reason was he was asking for more money on top of it, and he's a stud. And if it was like a few years ago, I would say pay him every penny. But he is getting up there in age. But even that, like he was a lockdown corner against like top tier wide receivers.
Yeah.
But there is hope at the end of the tunnel because he did recently tweet that he might be able to. He said he might not be gone. Yeah. So what I'm hoping is that they released him so that way he gets his money. That way, like it doesn't hurt our cap. And that way we can restructure a new deal. So hopefully what's happening is that he's fielding offers, seeing what everyone's looking at, and then if it's not what he's liking, he'll come back. Yeah. Which I would love to death.
I would love that too.
And his wife too has been so huge in just like the Eagles community. Like she's constantly saying, "What we're sending you guys jerseys. Like just we'll put you guys in the stadium with tickets, free tickets."
I gotta find her then.
She's doing so many things, like specifically on Twitter too, and like the whole Eagles fandom. I
go on her Twitter to get me some free tickets.
The whole Eagles fandom fell in love with her because
I'll tell her to catch up with us while we're tailgating.
Well, and that's the thing is that she would always be at the tailgates. Like she would just be like out and about, like just partying with a whole bunch of
reaching out them.
A whole bunch of Eagles fans.
That's how we get big.
I mean, it might be a little too late because they might be leaving, but yeah, that's one of the saddest things to hear. So if he doesn't come back, I hope him the best because like they're always welcome back in Philly. They were such class acts. Other big news that aren't Eagles related. Aaron Rodgers it's almost certain that he's
like 90% sure.
Right now
he's making his wish list, right?
Well, he gave him the wish list, and the first one signed was Allen Lazard to a 4-year deal. Okay. If they signed Cobb and Lewis, I'd laugh my ass off because like no, that's not it. Yeah. What made that team mediocre last year in Green Bay is going to make the Jets mediocre. So, but. Aaron Rodgers. The only thing holding up that deal is right now the Packers are trying to get something for it. Yeah, it's going to be a trade package.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We'll see what they get for that if they can try and fleece them. Other big ones, just a note. Juju, the TikToker, the one that's a pain in the ass, is going to the Patriots, which I did not expect.
No, I didn't think that either.
They would not allow that kind of stuff.
No, he may go out in a TikTok basically saying I'm done in the middle of the game.
I don't think he'll pull an Antonio Brown.
He might.
You never know. Ezekiel Elliott got released from the Cowboys.
I was going to bring that up because I am fucking ecstatic about that.
So would you bring him to the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I fucking hate Cowboys, but I actually respected how much I hated Ezekiel Elliott because he ran through us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we had the opportunity, I would take his ass.
100%.
Because then we can use him to win every game beyond that with our run.
I think that, if we get him, we get Kenny Gainwell, and we get Rashad Penny, and they can stay healthy, that would be... And even Boston Scott.
Yeah, no, Boston Scott's still always good.
Like, that would be disgusting. I doubt it because he's going to probably want more money than
probably
we can offer him. But that
he's also getting a little bit older too. He's 27 now.
Yeah, and in running back years,
yeah, that's old.
You're towards the tail end.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he wants a 1-year contract for a couple mil.
Well, so we'll see because we'll see which team
take it.
We'll see what team takes him. But
we'll see. Keep an eye on
it. Now it's the Pollard Express.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys.
Still trying to get tickets to that game.
Godspeed. And then lastly, 2 more QBs got signed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave the bigger one last. Baker Mayfield is going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 1 year. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
So that'll be curious. So he'll be with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I believe Fournier is still there. Okay. So we'll see what that team does. But that team, I feel like the offense is going to be a little bit more of a rebuilding. So
wasn't he in the Chargers or just at the Chargers?
So he started with Carolina. He got released and then went to the Rams.
Rams, thank you. Sorry, LA.
And the Rams were interested in keeping him, but they still have Stafford.
So all right.
And Baker still believes he could be a starter, which, I mean, if he can clean up some things, I think he could be like an above-average starter.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then last but not least, the Raiders, which this does not make sense to me. You went from Derek Carr to a almost carbon copy clone, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He signed with the Raiders, so...
Yeah. Which, honestly, for Garoppolo, I think that's a good move, though, for him.
Yeah, 100%.
But we'll see how that really affects the Raiders, though.
Yeah, who the hell knows? But there's been a whole lot more in the NFL. But
who's going to be the main for the 49ers, though? Is it still going to be Purdy, or is it going to be somebody?
We don't know.
That's what I was curious about.
Because they're also showing that they're kind of not fully into it with Trey Lance, too. So. Yeah. That whole organization is...
That's going to be an interest... 49ers are going to have a very interesting season, depending on who the quarterback is.
Yep, so we'll see how all that unfolds.
Nick Foles at?
Nick Foles, I think he's still with the Bears, but I think he's...
No, I thought he was with the Colts.
Or the Colts, yeah. He was with the Colts, sorry.
With the Colts. Now you're good.
So that's pretty much what's been happening, the big stuff in the NFL. So we'll see what happens come next week, but that's already a lot.
That it is. So, all right, we're going to jump into on this day in sports history, and we're going to go back to 1869.
Ooh, nice.
With 10 salaried players.
So, sorry to because this just broke. Ironically, Miles Sanders, where do you think he's heading?
49ers?
No.
Damn it.
I'll give you one more guess.
Arizona.
No, he's going to the Carolina Panthers.
Really?
He's going to the Carolina Panthers.
I don't know how that's going to work out for him, though.
I don't know either, but I mean, like, they don't have a running back. Like, their main 2 running backs were Chuba Hubbard and Deonta Foreman, which both were pretty decent in that scheme, but, like, not a true RB1. I don't know how
it's going to go with Sanders. I wish him the best.
I actually think that'll be good because they'll draft their main QB. Sanders will be a veteran running back. Mm-hmm. They'll start gathering other pieces, so I'm curious. But
all right.
That was some breaking news for you, and then back to
the events in sports history. In 1869, with 10 salary players, we're bringing them back. The Cincinnati Red Stockings
becomes
the first baseball professional team. So all the way back then, when baseball started, way back then when they're playing with wood bats and smoking cigarettes while they're in the field.
They're still playing with wood bats.
Corked wood bats. You know,
okay, sure.
Cheating. A lot of cheating scandals, bad cleats, eating full-blown steaks in the middle of the game. I don't know.
There you go.
1869. We don't know what's going on
Just keep going.
There's horse and buggies.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there ain't much else going on. Let's see. More events in sports history.
Today's been a boring day in sports history,
huh? Kidding me. Some people died. We don't know who these people are. There ain't much else going on. Let me just double check. Oh, nope, we got a few more things. Sorry. Oh, here's a good one for 1912. And this is good for baseball as well. 1912 legendary pitcher Cy Young retires from baseball with a 511 to 315 win-loss record. Cy Young, you always see those Cy Young awards. Mm-hmm. That's who that guy is.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? A lot of people in cricket getting knighted. Good for them. Let's see. Some stuff about basketball. Oh. Wilt Chamberlain, the first to score 4,000 points in the NBA season. That's a lot of points. That's in 1962. And then another boxing title fight. You got Larry Holmes in 1985. TKO's David Bay in 10 rounds. In round 10, sorry. For the heavyweight boxing title. Beyond that, in 1988, St. Louis Cardinals. Oh, keep this in mind. This is where it gets confusing. NFL St. Louis Cardinals moved to Phoenix, which then moved to Arizona eventually.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I forgot they did all that crazy shit. I always get confused when there's multiple different team names going on. Otherwise, it's just other big events, but nothing very specific. So yeah, that was our time in sports history. All right, time to give you some updates in sports around the world. Beyond that, too, mostly in the Philadelphia area. We're going to start with the real quick one. Flyers suck. Actually, we have more to talk about with the Flyers than anything else, too. Flyers finally fired their GM.
Thank fucking God.
Thank you, Lord Almighty God.
They heard our rant, and they said enough's enough.
We're getting
and do you know who the GM is now?
Briere.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Good old Danny Briere is back.
Yep. And he's already having issues.
Is he really?
Yeah, it looks like some incident. Oh. Son of interim Flyers GM accused of pushing disabled student's wheelchair at bar. That's some fun shit to deal with.
Jesus Christ.
Way to go. PR already. But yeah, hopefully that works out for the Flyers because they need it because they're still at the second to last. They just got their asses handed to them by the Vegas Golden Knights, my West Coast team. Let's see when they play next. I have no idea. So let's just say, they lost last week 5-1 to the Penguins. They're going to go play the Sabres next, and the Sabres are a mid-tier team. They have a chance at winning. I'm not going to say it's a high chance. I'm going to just say it's a chance.
I don't care.
Also, there's talks about trading Carter Hart, and I am so fucking disappointed because he was probably one of the greatest goalies that I ever saw with the Flyers.
Yeah, but he has not developed the way he should be.
And I think that's also because I heard he has like a lot of migraines all the time.
Yeah, he's unfortunately him and someone else on the team had severe migraines when it came to that.
It's such a shame because I expected so much from him and nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, I also blame the organization for not helping him develop because they did a fucking terrible job with that.
They did. Also, going right into the Sixers and their basketball life going on. They have a game tonight, actually, against the Cavaliers. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to record on what happened. They are currently on a 5-game win streak right now. And this is that 5-game win streak starts off with them beating the 16-0 streak Bucks. So that they're on their own hot streak right now. They're playing the Cavaliers tonight at 7:30. Currently in the standings, they're still third, but again, you have the Bucks and the Celtics atop of them on the Eastern Conference, and it's close though. They are overall in the conference 26-15. Celtics are 29-16. So it's real close to get to that number 2 spot. But they are basically on the way to clinch into at least the playoffs. And I swear to God, can we at least have one Philly sports team not lose in the fucking finals, Super Bowl, World Series, please? I'm not saying Stanley Cup because that's not happening.
Yeah.
Or in MLS finals as well. Can't forget them.
I don't think Philly can deal with another finals heartbreak.
We lost 3 so far.
Three in a 90-day span.
Yes. And now we have a 4th one on our way. Not to lose. I'm just saying a 4th final.
I need the Sixers to show to get past the second round. If we cannot get past the second round, I need them to do something.
They get past the second round, I think we got it. It's the hump we got to get over. Overall, though, I think the Sixers are playing incredibly well. I don't watch enough. I do got to start watching more. Overall, though, I'm excited. We also have, don't forget, this is what I did forget, March Madness. March Madness is starting soon as well.
That's big.
That is big. I even made a bracket this year. I don't expect much from it because I just picked randomly.
You know what? I'll make a bracket this year too. Might as well.
You might join the one with Nick. Why not? Yeah. There's actually, it looks like some stuff going on now, but I don't know if it's actually a part of it. It's that's NCAA's tournament, so I don't know if that's actually a part of it. But apparently, it's starting. Yeah, I guess it started now, and it's going to be going through until April 8th. I think I have no idea. Or no, the first four has to play first. I think. I don't know anything about this. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I made a bracket. See what happens. We're gonna jump on over to soccer.
Real quick before we hop on into soccer, because there's more stuff coming out, and that's interesting.
Oh, you're getting live updates?
Yeah. So no one's been signed, but technically no one's been released either.
From the Packers?
No, from the Eagles.
Oh.
So the Eagles technically haven't fully released Darius Slay yet.
Good.
And he still has Eagles in his bio, all that kind of stuff.
Good.
And his wife and him are like making it kind of like subtle that like they might come back. So like his wife Jennifer liked a whole bunch of tweets like, if Slay comes back after all this hysteria, our app's gonna be sick as hell, like all this, and then they're like putting like the eye emojis and everything.
Just waiting, like, hey, we see you.
Just to kind of get a little giddy. So but the biggest thing was he hasn't officially been released yet.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that.
Back at it.
Back to soccer real fast because those are going to happen all the time. They're going to have updates everywhere. When it comes to the Union, currently they just won yesterday. 4-0 against Alanzana, which I believe is, I forget where that is. I don't usually deal with Alanzana at all. But yeah, Philadelphia won. Good for them. I think they are currently, Philadelphia in standings wise for the conference is 2-1. Then currently tied for 4th. So when it comes to soccer and their scoring, the draws are actually worth more points than losing a game. So Atlanta, Nashville, and Cincinnati, the top 3 right now, are all 2 wins, 1 draw. And from 4 to 6, you got Miami, Philadelphia, and New England that are all 2 wins, 1 loss, and they currently have 6 points in total, where the top 3 only have 7. So everyone's tying for 4th right now. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully Philadelphia keeps it up and has another good year.
Godspeed.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to jump into Formula One. We had our first race this year. So race weeks are going to be coming up more and more. You actually have another race coming up this weekend on Sunday, March 19th at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So just to run through the Bahrain Grand Prix that just happened, that was the first race of the year. And overall, it was actually a pretty fun race to watch. Just to give you the top 3, I'll give you top 5. First place P1 is Max Verstappen. P2, Sergio Perez. P3, Fernando Alonso. I'll get back to him because that one's impressive. P4, Carlos Sainz. P5, Lewis Hamilton. So just to note with Red Bull getting first and second on their first race compared to their last year when they both did not finish, that's a great start. Red Bull is already getting Max a big lead away from everyone else, starting off with some big points. So hopefully that keeps going, and if that happens, he may be a second-time world champ. But Fernando Alonso with Aston Martin, that was not expected. So I said last week Aston Martin's a mid-tier car, but I also did shit on Lance Stroll because I personally don't think he's that great of a driver. But Fernando Alonso, former winner, former world champ, I believe that Fernando Alonso could pull some shit out of his ass. Guess what? I was right. He got P3. He's about 40 years old, which is a lot older than most of the other people, and he's killing it. He did take a couple places to get up into P3. He drove very well, managed his tires, managed his heat. Overall, very proud for Fernando. I want to see him keep climbing because I want to make this interesting. I want Aston Martin, for Fernando at least, to be the dark horse in this one. Otherwise, though, I was a little disappointed in Haas. Haas did not make the points this year, or this race, so we'll have to see how that goes. Magnussen only got in 13th, and Nico Hulkenberg in his first race got P15. Not too bad, but we need more from him. Alex Albon, first race back at Williams, actually gets P10, scores a point. Pierre Gasly even gets a point too. Good for him. Ferrari, shit in bed early. Not a good start for them, though. P4 for Carlos Sainz. And then Leclerc had to poop out of the race, so that did not go well for him.
Rip.
Yep. And then the new driver for McLaren, the one that replaced Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, did not finish either. So, how's that working out for you so far, McLaren?
Rip. Rip.
How's that car?
Trash.
Get better. Anyway, speaking of which, with McLaren, where is my boy Lance Stroll? No, you're a P6, and I don't care about you. Where's the other one? Lando Norris. So, keep in mind, there's 20 racers. 3 did not finish, so there's only up to P17 that actually finished. Guess where Lando finished? 17th.
Awesome.
McLaren, you're starting off, and shit in the bed. I love it.
Proud of you, McLaren.
The last person I really wanted to kind of just piss on right now is Esteban Ocon, which is another Alpine racer. And, yeah, he got 3 different penalties in one race.
How?
So, if I remember correctly, and I had it up, but I think I lost it just because of everything going on. Basically, I know, I think he went around a corner too fast, which was actually track limits for most of these races. So, here we go. 3 driving penalties during the race, which is, the last time that's happened is basically in 2015. It's just nuts because it just breaks you down to the point where you lose positions for each penalty. You get a time penalty. So let's say you finish in 1 minute and 20 seconds, it goes down to 1 minute 25. So all the people that are faster than you at that point move up in position. Or in this case, your car sucks also and you don't finish. So that happened too. So first off, it was right when he started. Before the race even started, when it comes to the grid slot that you parked in before you go, he was too far forward. He was over the grid slot. So that's a little bit of an advantage. I understand that. You done goofed. You moved on from there. Secondly, there was another one where he was speeding through the pit lane. And this one I will say is kind of BS. But they have to measure it. He was exceeding the 80 kilometer per hour pit lane speed limit by 0.1. And they got him for it. They had a cop with a radar gun and was 80.1. Got them.
The narcs.
Yep. So that, and then, and here's what happened and the whole storyline. I'm sorry, I did it a little bit out of order. So, as I said originally, he had the pit lane issue. Mm-hmm. That gives you a 5-second penalty right then and there. The way those work in racing, you have to go to the pit lane and you have to wait 5 seconds before you do anything. Mm-hmm. That includes getting new cars, getting a new front wing, anything. What happened was the engineers that were going to fix the car started at 4.6 seconds. So, they got another 10-second penalty after that. So they had to wait 15 seconds and then had the third penalty on top for going into the speed lane too fast. He got fucked by points, and I'm talking 0.1 and 0.4. Oh, that sucks for Ocon.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Just a note, too, for the Saudi Arabian GP, there's already penalties going out before the race even started. Charles Leclerc, I believe it is already going to get a penalty because of car issues. Basically, when it comes to F1, if you have to swap out engines, transmissions, anything before then, Charles Leclerc will hit the grid with a grid penalty. That's a fun way to put that one. But basically, they have to fit another type of power unit into their car. That's why these things happen, because you're only supposed to have a limited amount per like the season, but once you start like overdoing it, and because you get fresh equipment, it's considered an advantage. So that's why they give you the grid penalty. We'll see what happens with that. But I believe that's really about it. Ferrari's fucking it up already. So we'll see how far that goes. So yeah, remember 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 19th, Saudi Arabian GP. Okay, last but not least, you got I'm not bringing up boxing because I don't have anything going on besides Garcia and Davis at this moment. I don't think Caleb Plant is fighting soon, and I don't think that's going to be anything I need to talk about right this second. When is that next fight? It ain't now, though. That's not for a while. Oh, yeah, it's in March. Oh, it's March 25th. All right, I'll get back to that soon. And we're going to skip that. Okay, going right into UFC 286. This is actually happening on my birthday, March 18th, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, 5 p.m. EDT. What is that time zone?
That's not Eastern Standard.
No, it is not. That is Eastern Daylight Time. So, I don't know.
Is that what we're calling it now, since we're done with the...
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it is 5 o'clock. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Assume it's 5 o'clock right now. But double check UFC's website. They'll give you the better answer. Yeah, no, 5 p.m. Okay. All right, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going with that. So this is UFC 286, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. This is basically a one-for-one fight. Leon Edwards. Kamaru won the first fight. Leon won the second fight in a last-minute fifth-round knockout. And, yeah, we're going to get into that. So this one, as with all pay-per-view UFC events, or numbered events, there's a main card, prelim, and early prelim. This whole entire event is done in UK. So just to note this too, which I think is pretty cool. Anytime there's a international event where it's like UK, France, Italy, etc., they try to get as many of that nationality on that card as possible.
Okay. And
in this case, the early prelim and prelims, I believe every single one, except for the first fight, in the early prelims, are all having a UK fighter. Regarding the main card, though, the only one that is actually from the UK is Leon Edwards. But just to run through the early prelims real quick, the ones that I would note the most, honestly, there's not much going on besides, Jai Herbert versus Ludwig Klein. I actually want to see Jai Herbert kind of bring it on. He's currently 12-4. He's going to be fighting Ludwig Klein, which is 19-4 right now, both coming off wins. Honestly, I can see this going pretty good. I think this is going to be a slugfest, so I'm very excited. That's going to be my prelim fight that I'm very excited to watch.
Nice.
The big thing with UK crowds, which I love in general, and I know I'm going back to it, they're there from beginning to end. It's not like the US where people show up only for the main card. They're there, piss drunk, watching, screaming, booing, yelling, cheering for every fight from early prelim to main event. On the prelims, just jumping back to it too, we actually have two ranked fights going on. The first one is actually the first one of the prelim. Muhammad Makaev versus Jayful Filo. Muhammad is defending his number 12 rank in the flyweight division. He's currently 9-0. Just coming off a win, obviously. And we actually have a debut here, actually, for Jayful Filo. He's currently 14-2. Fighting out of Brazil. We have no idea how he wins. It looks like nobody knows the odds or anything like that because, again, we don't know much about this guy. But hey, go for Jayful. Let's see what happens. Beyond that, the other big event that's going on the prelims, the the main event for the prelim card is Jack Shore of the featherweight division will be fighting against Makwan Armankani. Jack Shore is actually coming off his first loss ever. He's currently 16-1, and Makwan is currently coming off a loss as well. I'm excited to see Jack Shore pick it back up after his most recent loss. Jack Shore has been an incredible fighter this entire time. Like I said, 16-1, 4 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission, and then 6 first round finishes. Overall, very excited to see what he brings to the table after that last loss. But I think he can pick himself back up and start climbing up the featherweight division. All right. Beyond that, though, when it comes to the prelims, you still got Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales and Sam Patterson versus, is that one way? Yanal Ashmaz. But we're going to jump right into the main card because I do have a few things I want to rip into, including my everyone gives me shit about it. Alex is giving me shit. Rav is giving me shit. James is giving me shit. I still think it can happen. I have the dark horse of the middleweight division. So the top 3 in the middleweight are already a fucking threatening powerhouse of people. But I have been banking on Marvin Vettori to fucking become the dark horse and slowly win the middleweight division. Okay. Will it actually happen? No. Yeah. But
that's why it's a dark horse.
It's a dark horse, but there has to be a specific timeline that happens, and I already know what it is. But I will rant about him in a second. Marvin Vettori is currently 18-6-1, 2 wins by knockout, 9 wins by submission, 11 first-round finishes. So 9 of those submissions are in the first round, obviously. Big wrestler, big grappler, loves to take people down. The man also has a chin made of fine Italian granite. Anytime he gets punched, he's like, meatball, spaghetti, yali. Just doesn't give a shit. I've only seen him get staggered once or twice, but the one thing I will say that he was always lacking was his striking. The good news is, after his last loss where he got outclassed, sorry Marvin, by Robert Whittaker, like horribly outclassed, he decided to go to Thailand to learn Muay Thai a little bit more, worked on his striking, worked on his kicking. So having that now added into his repertoire will be a big thing. Now, he is going to be fighting Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is currently ranked 9th in the middleweight division. He is currently 12-1, 7 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission. Currently on a 3-fight win streak, maybe even more. Let's find out. 4-fight win streak, not bad for him. Taking out on the way there, which actually bringing back up, him knocking out Hermanson, which was pretty good. So, with him, good amount of striking, has some pretty good takedown defense. Average fight time is about 9 minutes, so maybe we'll see this one not end early. Honestly, I want to see Marvin win. I would probably say that by decision. Yeah. However, with his Muay Thai going on, that could be by knockout. So, let's see what the odds are. They don't have it besides the money line being minus 265.
That's still a pretty chunky money line.
Yeah. Moving on. So, next one up on the card, women's flyweight bout. You got Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill is currently on a fucking hot streak of being 9-0 in the women's flyweight division. They're both coming off wins. Jennifer Maia is currently 29-1, so she definitely has the experience here. Like I said, Casey O'Neill currently 9-0, 3 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. She's going to be the up-and-coming one to take on the flyweight division. We'll see how it goes. Overall, very excited to see. I think this one's going to go to decision, though. I'm not really sure how Jennifer's going to be. Jennifer does have, though, 4 wins by knockout, 5 by submission, 6 first-round finishes. Striking, not the greatest that I've seen. Maybe she's more on the ground game. Not the greatest takedown attempts either. But I'm not shitting on her either. I don't know what to expect with this fight at all. I would take, if anything, if the odds are good, minus 175 for Casey O'Neill. I would take the 1 plus 150 for Jennifer Maia. Just because she has the more experience. I know Casey O'Neill, they're trying to prep her up, but we'll see what happens. This is going to be a slugfest. Welterweight fight, you got Brian Barberna, who is currently 18-9, 11 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. Overall, has just been a fun man to watch fight. He's fought against Robbie Lawler, which if you watch that fight, it's just them slugging each other back and forth. Versus Matt Brown, which was a beautiful fight. Versus Weeks was good as well. But he did lose to Rafael Dos Anjos, which I will bring back up later.
Okay.
But overall, I think this is going to just be two people beating the ever-living shit out of each other. And then Gunnar Nelson, let me just pull him back up. Gunnar Nelson from Iceland, the Stone Cold Killer. He's 18-5-1, 4 wins by knockout, 12 by submission, 11 first-round finishes. So, this is actually going to be a test for Brian to see how his ground game is, because that did not go well against Rafael. So, overall, we'll see how that goes. If anything, I would take Gunnar by submission if Brian's ground game is trash like it was before. But if it's on the ground, if it's on the feet, it'll be fun. Now, this next fight is probably my all-time favorite fight. It's a lightweight bout fight. It is the ranked number 3 versus ranked number 6. Justin the Highlight Gaethje, ranked number 3, versus Rafael Fiziev, which is ranked number 6. This fight is going to be the barn burner of the entire event. This card could, if this didn't have to be in the UK with Leon Edwards, this could have been the main event itself. Justin Gaethje, when his nickname, The Highlight, is no joke for no reason whatsoever, because all of his fights have been fantastic to watch, no matter win or loss. And he has fought every high-level fighter in the lightweight division, including Khabib, Nurmagomedov, Michael Chandler, which was a fucking hell of a fight. And then, Charles Oliveira, which he did lose to as well. But currently he's, off and on. He's 24-4. Has 19 wins by knockout, nice. 9 in the first round. He is a stand-up striker, hands down.
That'll be a
big
fun
thing
one.
For him. Loves to throw an uppercut and then throw a hook right after. He'll probably throw a right-handed uppercut and then throw a hook, and I think that may be his demise because he is really easy to read.
Okay.
However, he is no slouch. He takes damage off the chin. I think he is still one of the best lightweights, but I don't want him to win. I don't think he's going to win, though.
Yeah.
And the reason why he is now fighting Rafael Fiziev, which is a scary motherfucker, just to tell you. He is currently 12-1, 6-fight win streak, 8 wins by knockout, 6 first-round finishes. I watched every single one of Fiziev's fights. This man is a fucking nut job. Comes from Azerbaijan, if I said that right.
Azerbaijan.
Moved to Thailand to go into Muay Thai, go into the professional circuit in Thailand, win a couple belts, then transferred over to MMA, and has just been on a fucking tear since. Now, like I said, his striking is incredible. His fight against Bobby Green was fantastic. Him roundhouse kicking Brad Riddell into KO was beautiful. And then there was a big fight for him. Rafael Fiziev versus Rafael Dos Anjos. You had to see who was the better Rafael. And then he went to go challenge a guy in tennis, Rafael Nader. But that was more of a joke.
Yeah.
Overall, though, the caliber that he has fought compared to, though, of Justin Gaethje is lower. I'm not saying, though, Rafael, somebody to joke about, neither is Riddell, neither is Green, neither is Monsigno. But he hasn't been tested with the higher level fighters with their striking caliber. So this is going to be a very big test for him. I do think, though, overall, if this is going to be a stand-up bout, which I know it will be, it's going to be fucking beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think it will make it past the second round, because I think the first round is going to be back and forth, some trades here and there. And I think in the second round, Fiziev gets him with something good out of nowhere and knocks his ass out plenty. So I would definitely keep an eye on that fight and that fight alone. That fight will definitely be performance of the night or fight of the night. And if not, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. And then finally, the welterweight title bout. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. So, just to run through this one, as we recently saw that Kamaru Usman just lost his belt to Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman was manhandling Leon for, I would say, about 4.5 of the 5 rounds. First round definitely was leaning towards Leon, but a lot of people were blaming the altitude on the cardio for Leon declining rapidly through those 3 rounds. Reason being, because in the first round, he scored his first Leon scored the first ever takedown against Kamaru Usman. So that's huge. Because Usman is a very big grappler. He's no slouch in striking either. But at 5 minutes in the round 5, his coaches put the fire in him, lit him up, and basically got him hyped to keep fighting through the 5th round. Late in the 5th round too, gets him with a beautiful head kick, and Kamaru Usman's lights just went out. So that's how it ended. Now, keep in mind, we are now in the UK. We are on Leon Edwards' home field. We are not at high altitude. Will that all make a big effect? Maybe. I don't know. The X factor, I honestly think, will be the altitude and the crowd. But just to run through it, Leon Edwards is currently 20-3, 7 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, 5 first-round finishes. Fantastic striker. Very precise, very powerful. 383 significant strikes to the head alone. He wants you to have CTE. Kamaru Usman, though, he is no slouch at all. He is 20-2, 9 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission. He is a grappler. He will literally push you onto the fence and then look like he's going for a takedown, tire your ass out from trying to defend it, pop up, throw a couple strikes, go back right into a takedown. He is quick to transition. I am very impressed by him every time. He has attempted nearly 115 takedowns and landed a good amount of them as well. It's about 48%. He is good with striking, but he's not, I don't think it's going to be the greatest thing. But when he is on the ground, he does strike a lot. Overall, I think this is going to be what we wanted to see the first time, but unfortunately with altitude, it changed everything. Honestly, I could still see Usman winning this. I can see Leon hitting it right, though, because he's the most accurate one there is. If I had a guess, though, if Usman gets the grappling down like he did last time, there's no mistaking it, for 5 rounds, that's going to a decision.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that happen. I want to see pure fighting. The problem is, Usman wasn't afraid of getting knocked out. Now, he did get knocked out. So that's something that's always going to be in the back of your head. Mm-hmm. You can't brush off, I got knocked out. All right, let's do this again. Mm-hmm. No, that's fuck. He knocked me out. Mm-hmm. How am I going to defend this?
Yeah.
But he has the ground game to defend.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Once again, that's UFC 286, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go check it out at your local Miller's Ale House because they air it for free. Otherwise, pay $80 on ESPN Plus if you really want to do that. And that is really all I had for UFC.
Nice, and I think that's all we had for this episode. So it's been a long one. So again, if you have any questions, reach out to Bill and AJ Media at gmail.com.
Fucking email us, please. We want to have a question segment.
Yeah, we might even get some call-ins, so we'll see about that.
I would love to do call-ins.
That'd be fun as hell, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And then reach out to us at our Twitter at AB Sports Media. Again, my name's AJ.
And I'm Bill.
And thank you for listening to our podcast. Hope to see you guys next week.
Yep, take care.
Bye.
If gambling has become a problem for you or for someone you know, please call 1-800-GAMBLER to seek free, confidential 24/7 problem gambling assistance. You can also text SUPPORT to 53342 to get more information about problem gambling behavior.